Hi again. Today we're gonna talk about technical analysis of the match between Arsenal and Manchester City. The battle between the master and the apprentice. Two teams who are almost the same on the way they close down high. But City win the match and Pep outclassed his apprentice. Now let us look how both teams are playing. Arsenal basically they're gonna try to close down both these players. Odegaard we're gonna try to move around and help in the defense, while Zinchenko go into the middle, like here, allowing Xhaka to move to that side and play like a left back. Martinelli coming to that side, and Partey staying here as a protection while White go up. This is basically how Arsenal was playing. Meanwhile, for City, they surprised him. Pep surprised Arteta. What he done is Gundogan and Rodri were staying back. Bernardo Silva, he was defending back more. De Bruyne has a chance to move up, while Grealish was once more trying to protect that side from the pitch. So he was moving back more and coming forward whenever you have the possibilities, trying to stop White from coming forward. And both teams are closing down from the front. Like Arsenal is closing down from by those players, even other players join them. The same thing for the City. But the execution and how each manager set up their system and team to go out of this closing down is what made, in the end, City win by 4-1. And they should have been even scored 9. So how City done it? Let us start with first example. Okay. The first example, you can see it here. Okay. Now we can see Arsenal players are defending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 Arsenal players. What City done is they put a player close to each Arsenal player. So this one is close to this one. This one they are closing the road for Partey. This, if you want to pass it here, Rodri can come and block it. This, if you pass it to the back to this, to holding White or to Shevchenko, you have De Bruyne who can either come here, either come there. So basically Arsenal, City, they closed down very well Arsenal. And now let us see how Arsenal reacted when they have been closed down. Because Arsenal is much more vulnerable in the back and they are much more dangerous when they're in the other half. So City wanted to keep Arsenal in their half. Now let us see how good Arsenal was when trying to go out of this position. What White did is here is he didn't have any option. So what he did is he said just long ball because he was surrounded by City player, and that ball went to Gundogan. So City get back the ball so easily. He couldn't send longer ball because he didn't have time. Grealish didn't allow him time. And secondly, they don't have a tall player who can control the ball. So he went in the middle area because he was expecting Odegaard to be here or Saka, but they were not. The result of that was 1 second later, Gundogan passed the ball to the side and they are wide open Arsenal. And you can see here the Arsenal players, they are not defending very well. You can see here Partey and Holding, they're almost in the way of each other. City players are open, like he can pass there, he can pass there, and if he passes here, he's gonna pass there. So defensively, Arsenal, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, but they are not covering the whole area. So defensively, Arsenal was not organized, and thus Arteta has to take the blame because it seems they are not drilled on how to defend as a team. And we can see it now clearly more in the next build-up. And let us see the difference, how City are able to escape from the close down of Arsenal. Now it's a reverse situation where City is trying to defend and Arsenal is trying to close down the City player, who is Stone in this case. You can see I think it's Martinelli coming, Jesus coming to that direction. Martinelli is there, sorry. So I don't know who this player is. I think Odegaard. Xhaka is here. Saka is not there for some reason. So they're trying to close him down. But City keep players far away, so they can either pass it to that side, either pass it to this side. They will avoid to pass definitely in that side. Or maybe pass it to that player, Rodri, and Rodri gonna pass it to that player. That's how City gonna play. Let's see now the other option now, because they have Haaland in the front. That's how City used to do it before. But now with Haaland, let's see what they done differently. Now, what happened is Stone sent a long ball to Haaland. And Haaland, like, he's stronger than any defender in the Premier League. He's tall and strong and fast. So he able to manage to keep the ball when he got it. And De Bruyne was very fast to move on to the space which is here, because Holding is holding this player. White, he's just having a look to Grealish, which is beside him. And those two players are lost now in the equation. So what happened next is Haaland touched the ball. De Bruyne was very fast. I'm not sure who was marking him, but he let him go very easy. And one touch and De Bruyne was in. Then he would simply go that side, then he make the shot. Easy. So that's a new dimension which City didn't have the previous seasons, and something which Arsenal didn't have. So Arsenal option to go out when they're being closed down was very limited compared to City. Now, let us take another option. But this time is a typical how City go out of the closing down. Now Stone has the ball. He has one option only, which is Walker. But Martinelli is coming towards Walker, so he'll be in trouble. And if then Walker try to pass it to Rodri, Chaka, they may come unanticipated, and they may have like 1-to-1 against the goalkeeper. So it was dangerous pass. What City done, they went different way, which is one of the reason why Pep outclass Arteta, is because his defenders can make good passes, have good awareness, and he put more playmakers on the team on purpose, because he knew Arsenal gonna close them down, and he knew who player who can take the ball, have big awareness, and can pass the ball very fast without allowing Arsenal to take the ball from them. And you can see it here. So Stone have the ball. What he did, instead of passing to Walker, he passed it straight to Bernardo Silva. And Bernardo, he anticipated that. It has been drilled. That's not by chance. They have been drilled. Like when you see your player is closed down and they have no space, you need to create an option for him. And that's what Gundogan done. So he was running that direction now. And he will definitely get the ball. Arsenal didn't do that. What happened next is now Bernardo Silva got the ball. You could have passed it here, you could have passed it there, but they were still bum. He returned back to Walker, and bum, Walker sent it back to Haaland. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Arsenal players. They become very useless with simple one touch, which took 1 second between them. A ball from Silva to Walker, and Walker a through pass to Haaland. And basically now you have 3 against 3, because you have already 7 committed to the counter attack, and that's one of the weakness of Arsenal. And that's one of the reasons why they conceded a lot of goals recently. It's because teams are aware that if they can't get away out of the closing down, they are exposed in the back. And it's one of the reasons why Arsenal all the time try to win a foul by pretending that they've been fouled by the other team trying to counter-attack, or trying to make some clever fouls, a professional foul, trying to stop the counter-attack, because they are vulnerable on the counters with easy, simple pass. So if any team want to beat Arsenal, if they are able just to train how to give option to the player who been countered, they will expose Arsenal very fast. The result of is, once he has the ball, Haaland, again, one simple touch. He didn't even wanted to know, because they know he was the space, so he doesn't pass to the player, he passes to the space, and the players run to the space. It's all been drilled. All the player learned that, and he could have passed it to De Bruyne or Grealish, who has empty space here. Basically, they were 2 against 2. So basically, they exposed Arsenal defense within 2 seconds. And that happened during the whole match. And that's why they have lots of chances one-to-ones. Because they were able to pass through the closing down for Arsenal very fast and very efficiently. Because they have very good passers around. Rodri is a good passer. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Haaland, De Bruyne, Grealish, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, even Walker, even Stone, even Kanji. He was able to run and make good passes as well. So the whole team have good passers, and that's how they were able, and the team were playing for them because they were offering the options for the player being closed down by the opposition. For sure, the other chance has been missed by De Bruyne, but it was 1-1. Now another way to deal with it. Arsenal. Look here. They are closing down, basically blocking all the passes option from Grealish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have almost the whole, not almost, the whole Arsenal team is within this small area of the pitch. That's whole Arsenal team is that small area, and that's one of the reasons why you can't expose Arsenal easy, because he could, what he decided here, Grealish, to go a long ball, which is the same goal which is West Ham scored against Arsenal, and Haaland was running through it, and the whole team, all those mass of players being exposed with simple touch, and Arsenal defending go all one direction, and they are very compact. So if opposition team have players who run that direction, they will have a free runs towards the goal, and Arsenal will be in chaos. They cannot defend it because they are all out of position. Again, this was another chance which Haaland missed it because he shot it and the goalkeeper saved it. But easy, simple pass exposed the whole Arsenal defense. Now, Arsenal is attacking. You've seen how Arsenal was defending by being compact. City was not the same. City was well spread, and you can see here the lines. They are not leaving spaces, and you can see Bernardo Silva is coming back. De Bruyne, which was all the time because Haaland was dragging one of the defenders with him, so De Bruyne had free runs, and all that being calculated, and that's a new tactic, which a big change from Pep, and he needs to deserve applauded for that because he outsmart and he changed his tactic and surprised Arteta. But Arteta, he has only one way and style of playing, and that's why he didn't gamble to change it, and he never gambled. The only time he gambled, I think, when he went with 5 strikers because they were 3-1 down to Southampton. Otherwise, he replaced the like for like. He doesn't change the system, and that's why I don't rate Arteta a lot. He's too rigid to his system and still learning. Anyway, that's why most of Arsenal attacks were easily handled by City, and that's why I think Arsenal didn't have any shot on targets until they scored that goal. They really struggled, but it shows how City not only attacking as a team, they're defending as a team, and they are very solid and organized. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players, and De Bruyne and Haaland in the back. And you have 8 Arsenal players, so it was 8 against 8. But and the result was still 1-0. You can see here the result was still 1-0. And Arsenal was quoting too many players, and that was the downfall of Arsenal. Because they have no options, they have to pass the ball around Arsenal. And it take one anticipation, and then it is De Bruyne and Haaland against 2 defenders of Arsenal. And that's why Ramsdale was the man of the match for Arsenal, because he had to save Arsenal for about 5-6 goals at that match. That's how much Arsenal exposed. And we're not talking about Arsenal desperate to score a goal. No. Because because still was too early. But that's how they play Arsenal, and that's how you can break them down. Now, another way, which is the City way, Arsenal again closing down and committing numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 4 players. So they are outnumbering them. Now, the ball being passed here to that player, which I think is Rodri. Then Rodri has one option, or actually two options. Either he passes it here, either he passes it there. What he chooses to pass it to Grealish. Now Grealish has easy option to pass it straight to De Bruyne, but it can be short pass, could be anticipated. White could come close to him, and what do you call the defender holding can come and close Grealish down. So what he did is, instead, he was smarter. What he did is, he ran with the ball. So he confused Arsenal players, because then 2 players come closing him down, which left space empty for De Bruyne, who moved slightly to the back. So he have more freedom and more space. You can see it here, that the Arsenal players have left a big space for him now by moving to the center area of that location. Now suddenly, when De Bruyne have the ball, Grealish run here, Bernardo Silva run here, and Haaland have option to run there or there. If he see Grealish coming that side, he gonna definitely run there, and that's what happened. He's seen Grealish run that side, so he decided to run this way. And suddenly Arsenal is exposed, because now there are 3 against 3. And one of them actually, he missed his player. So basically, one pass is going to be 2 against 2. Again, many times during the match, that happened over and over and over again. The problem is, Arsenal, they don't have the same quality of player who can pass their ball out of being closed down. So they panic, they make an extra wrong pass, and at the same time they don't have other options as well, which is like Holland. They don't have that tall player who can give him a long ball and he gonna deal with it, and he gonna take one player out, then lay it to another player who is running. They don't have that option. So their option is much more limited compared to City. Another difference why this happened, as we showed, the way Arsenal defend is very compact, and they go all to one direction, and it's a chaos, because I'm not sure who's marking who. You have the numbers, but not separate in an efficient way, and that's on Arteta. While in the opposite side, you can see when City defended, they were spread very nicely all over the pitch, and when Arsenal keep on going down on the box, they have 8 players there who can easily cut the ball and simple pass, and it's 2 against 2. Overall, it was a disaster. Tactical suicide done by Arteta. He didn't change, he didn't adapt, he was too slow to react to changes, even when the team was struggling. But Pepe, sticking to plan A, which is the only plan he has, while Pepe, he changed his system. and credit to that to him. He played different type of players. Like he didn't play Mahrez because he didn't want dribblers. He wanted good passers of the ball. He want players who can be much more efficient in the passing, much more clever, and that's why you see even the defenders are good passers of the balls, and that's why that system worked very well with City, and Arsenal struggle because Partey is not a good passer of ball. Xhaka he's good, but again, he's not one of the greatest passers of the ball. The defend, one of maybe Saliba is missing. Saliba is good in the build-up as well. He could have helped, but overall, it's a masterclass. I like the ability of Pep, how he can adapt and change based on the opposition team. It's something which I thought Pep doesn't have it, but in this match proved that he is smart. Even the position of De Bruyne, he make Haaland take off holding with him and make De Bruyne make all the runs, and Gabriel was a disaster facing him. You couldn't handle him during the match, and he was 1-on-1 against him also at the time. So overall, Pep proved that why he is still the number one manager in the world. He has a great system, plan A, but against a strong side who really killed most of the teams they played against this season. They look like a championship club because the way he mastered his tactical game, not only attacking wise, but defensive wise, and in the transition, especially in the transition, how they transition from being closed down and they have to defend to suddenly be in the foot front and be 2 against 2 against Arsenal. The way they transitioned, whether defending or attacking, is just amazing. It's a good lecture for anyone who loves football. And I'm still learning from Pep Guardiola every day. And credit for him. And I'm a United fan. Anyway, hope that explained a little bit how Pep outclassed the Apprentice and humiliated him at that match.